This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. President Biden is heading over to Europe later this week for the NATO summit, and then he's going to Poland after that. The Biden administration has considered giving out gas cards to help ease the pain at the pump, and gas stimulus check $800 tax rebate payout could go to couples in this state to help with cost inflation. Two states have officially suspended the gas tax, and there's one state governor proposing a $1,700 stimulus check with lockdowns at 37 million people in China. Some are predicting that there could be an uptick in COVID cases in the US, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, health experts predict uptick in US COVID cases due to new BA.2 variant. So US health experts are warning a highly contagious COVID Omicron variant called BA.2 could soon lead to another uptick in domestic coronavirus cases. Officials such as White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said BA.2 is 50 to 60% more transmissible than Omicron, but it does not appear to be more severe. The variant is estimated to account for 25 to 30% new cases, and what they're saying is that there's going to be an uptick in cases, but not hospitalizations. At least that's what they're predicting. This comes on the heels of with 37 million in lockdown and COVID plans under fire. Chinese ask what comes next. So in China, they're having a huge uptick in cases there, as well as Europe. 37 million in lockdown. We've seen a big amount of cases before, and there hasn't been a lockdown in the US yet. Don't think it's going to happen, but let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. When it comes to gas taxes and gas cards and gas stimulus checks, we'll go over all that right now. So Maryland, Georgia moved to temporarily suspend gas tax amid nationwide high prices. So these are the two states that have officially done it. A lot of states have been talking about gas tax suspension as well as gas stimulus check, gas cards. Take a look at this video clip right here explaining more.
This morning, there's no escaping the pain at the pump.
You know, the gas prices are high. Everybody can't afford those gas prices.
Gas prices now averaging $4.26 a gallon in the U.S. and approaching $7 in parts of California. Lawmakers in several states are trying to ease the burden. Maryland has become the first state to suspend its gas tax, shaving 36 cents off every gallon, saving the average driver about $5 per fill-up.
It's almost unheard of for a major piece of legislation to pass in such a short period of time and with such universal bipartisan support. But together, we have all risen to the occasion.
In Georgia, the governor signing a similar bill to eliminate the state's gas tax, about 29 cents per gallon through May. And in Michigan, the state Senate has voted to approve suspending its gas tax for 6 months. But Governor Gretchen Whitmer is not on board. She says it would hurt road repair and infrastructure projects funded by the gas tax. So instead, she wants the federal government to step in.
There's conversation at the federal level as to how we can help families.
Gas prices began climbing as inflation grew worse and supply chain issues unfolded. Then soared after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Republicans blame the Biden administration for hurting efforts to expand energy production here at home. No matter who you blame, many Americans are being forced to make changes. 59% of Americans say they plan to change their driving habits now that gas is more than $4 per gallon. And 3 out of 4 people say they'll try to drive less if prices top $5. In California, in response to those rising prices, lawmakers have proposed a $400 rebate for all taxpayers. Supporters say it's a better approach because it doesn't affect funding for future transportation projects. And it helps more people.
What are your thoughts on the gas tax suspension? Good idea, or should there be gas cards? Should there be general stimulus checks? Because the price of gas, the high price of gas, is actually affecting the price of food as well as anything else that needs to be shipped using gas, like with a freight truck. So let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. Speaking of gas stimulus check, so gas stimulus check, $800 tax rebate payout could go to couples in this state to help with cost of inflation. So this is going on in California. California, and California lawmakers are calling for a new rebate check that would give taxpayers $400 tax rebate check to help with the rising cost of gas and everything else related to that. So what it's saying here, $400 check, and then with a couple, that's where it would become $800. So still unclear the details of this. It's still a proposal, so not official yet. And then this one, Shapiro unveils plan to cut cell phone tax, issue gas tax refunds. So this is going on in Pennsylvania. So what it's saying here is Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro is releasing a plan. So it's a three-part plan. Basically, it would reduce taxes on cell phones as well. So what it's saying here is 3P's plan suggests sending a gas tax refund to drivers in the state. The refund would be $250 for each personal passenger. Also, it would eliminate the cell phone tax, which would save taxpayers 11% on their monthly cell phone bills. Let me know. I've never heard of that before. Cell phone tax, which is 11%. Good idea, bad idea, all these taxes that are going to be cut because of high prices. Is this the right thing to do, or would you prefer just a stimulus check, a general check to be used for whatever, or gas tax, cell phone tax? Let me know your thoughts on this. I've never heard of any of these before. Also, Minnesota's governor pushes $2 billion stimulus check plan. So there's a lot of stuff in here for Minnesotans. But probably the thing that sticks out the most is the $1,000 stimulus check. Also, $500 for singles, $1,000 for couples. So that's going on in Minnesota. Then we have amid high cost, Governor Mills proposes increasing direct relief for Maine people. So in the state of Maine, they are proposing a higher check. So what's saying here is the Office of Maine State Economist estimates that inflation will cost the average Maine person more than $560 this year than last, which includes an extra $260 at the grocery store, $300 for gas and home heating. The governor's new proposal would return $1,700 in relief to the average Maine household. So basically, under the Maine governor's proposal, a $1,700 stimulus check there. And Nancy Pelosi was in Florida, and she speaks on America's aging infrastructure during her Florida visit, not mentioning anything about the Build Back Better or building a better America, just talking about infrastructure, which I think is interesting because they were so gung-ho about the Build Back BBB and the BABA, but now it's kind of been silent. There's been calls for it, but no action, and it doesn't seem like I don't know if it's going to happen or they're just putting it on pause, a strategic pause, or just a pause in general. I'll keep you updated on that. Then the Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona, on why fixing a broken student loan system is a priority for Biden administration. So he went on a talk show the other day, and this is the guy that President Biden was supposed to ask about canceling $10,000 in student loan debt through executive action. And that was maybe a little less than a year ago. And this is the campaign that President Biden promised, that $10,000 student loan forgiven for every federal student loan borrower. And this is the guy, Cardona. So he hasn't really mentioned anything about that, basically saying we're having those conversations now. It's certainly something that where we have the ability to address where colleges might have taken advantage or loan servicers taken advantage of borrowers. We're releasing and discharging debts. We'll continue the conversations about overall broad debt relief, meaning that it's probably not going to happen, which President Biden was supposed to ask him, Secretary Cardona is supposed to respond, and it looks like they're just putting it on ice. Maybe they don't want to do that. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon for student loan forgiveness. Then Biden admin considered sending out prepaid gas cards to ease pain at the pump. So last week, Biden administration considered sending out prepaid gas cards to Americans to help ease the pain at the pump. At this point, we haven't heard any announcements from the White House. So this is just hearsay. There's nothing official, but potentially what they're saying in this article, that gas cards could come from the White House. So a general gas stimulus check as opposed to all these individual state ones. So I'll keep you updated on that. Speaking of President Biden, Biden will visit Poland following NATO summit on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Later this week, he is going to Europe, and on Friday, On Friday he's going to go to Poland, where I think over 2 million Ukrainian refugees are there right now. So we'll see what happens, what comes out of that. I'll keep you updated. Also, a top Senate Republican advises President Joe Biden ahead of NATO summit of what to say, what to do, what's going on with gas prices, and a few other things. Take a look at this video clip of Senator John Barrasso.
You also heard Senator Durbin on gas prices and inflation. Right there, he said it's clearly President Putin has to bear some of the blame. And he took on your comment about a climate elitist saying we have to take climate change seriously. Is he wrong about that?
Well, Joe Biden can't hide from the fact that he is the president of high gas prices, and they're looking for anyone to blame, whether it's Putin, whether it's Republicans, whether it's the energy companies, whether it's COVID. The Democrats have a very big problem with 40-year high inflation, highest gas prices ever. When Joe Biden came into office, it was $2.38 a gallon for gasoline. American families paid $1,000 more, George, for energy last year than the year before. And on polling last week, 70% of Americans say more American oil and gas and less emphasis on climate.
Let's talk about the war in Ukraine. What should the United States be doing right now that it's not doing?
Well, first, you just had Senator Durbin on. He and I were in Ukraine together in 2014, the day that Russia took Crimea. There's a bipartisan group of senators right now at the border between Poland and Ukraine. There is a bipartisan committed group in Washington committed to helping the heroic people of Ukraine. So proud of President Zelensky and the courage that he has shown. And in Congress, we are trying to get the administration on board to a level that we feel we've filled the void in a bipartisan way. The president has had to be pushed and pulled to where he is today. It was Congress that brought about sanctions, that brought about the ban on Russian oil, that brought about weapons, and all of this big aid package that I voted for a week or two ago, $13 billion. So far, the administration has only released $1 billion of that. And I think if they'd done more in sanctions, we might not have been in this situation if they had done punishing sanctions before the tanks began to roll. President Biden is going to NATO this week. He's going to NATO this week, and if he wants to lead from the front, and America lead from the front, rather than leading from behind, there are 3 specific things he needs to do, in my opinion, at NATO this week.
What are the 3 specific things?
Well, number 1 is he needs to tell NATO that we collectively are going to supply the people of Ukraine things that they know how to use, whether it's drones, planes, missile systems. Number 2, he has to say that he is going to go from Brussels to the Eastern Front of NATO to show the resolve of NATO and the United States commitment as well. And third, he needs to say to the people of Europe who are really in a tough situation with regard to energy and the dependence that they have on Russian energy, that we are going to increase the exporting of liquefied natural gas from America to them. Even Germany has come up to the fact that they said, look, energy security, George, is much more important than climate zealotry. The president needs to lead by saying we're going to increase production of oil and natural gas in the United States. We're going to send it to you. And that's what leadership is all about. I have legislation in a bipartisan way to make that possible.
Okay.
Hi guys, this is Isabella. This is the tip of the day. And what you should always do, you should always be together with someone. You should always have a friend beside you. You should always have someone right next to you because they might be lonely and you should always be with them. So that's all I wanted to say. So bye.
And that was just 2 minutes after waking up. Good job, Bella. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So to show my appreciation for your support, I'm giving out $200 to my subscribers. We're doing this again. Did it last month. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you kind of know how this works. Kind of the same thing. So you have to subscribe to my 2 other channels. Actually, I just launched a new channel yesterday. It's called Wise Pickleball. I'm just going to show some of the games that I play when I play pickleball. If you watch me, I kind of talk about like my newest favorite passion, which is Pickleball. So you have to subscribe to that channel, my Wise Buys channel, and then write the word hopeful only in this video that you're watching below. Comment the word hopeful and what you're hopeful for, and then I'm going to pick the comments at random. So those are the three things. I have more details to that down in the description below if you want to read exactly what to do and where the links are to my other channels. And so that's it, and then I'll announce the winners in a few days. Same as before, picking the winners at random. And yeah, so that's it. So if you want to check out my first video on my new channel, Wise Pickleball, you could click up here, and would appreciate some love, some support on that channel. And yeah, so you could click that, see what pickleball is all about, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.